video talking about the Japanese Zero, the A6M2. I'll be referring to it as the Zero, and it is a Japanese plane. However, in the videos I'm using the Chinese plane because I bought it and I like premiums, I suppose. So the best tactic to use in this aircraft is to sneak up behind your enemy and use your excellent turning rate to your advantage, something that most fighters don't have at your BR. Boom and zoomers will rain fire from above if you're not careful, so you need to be careful for that. So the best thing to do is try and force an enemy pilot into a dogfight at about 370 to about 400 kilometers an hour, below 6,000 meters. At this speed and altitude, no enemy fighter can outmaneuver you or outclimb you, so you can just jump on cruising enemy aircraft from above, fasten onto their tail of them, and use superior manoeuvrability to match his evasiveness. It's easy enough. And so the best thing to do is put rounds down into him, use your machine guns first to line up the enemy. Once you hit him, finish him off with your 40mm cannons. Below 480 kilometers an hour, you can fling the Zero all over the sky and get on an enemy's tail, or to shake off a determined attacker. You can climb away from most aircraft, hang on to props in near and near vertical climb. Manoeuvrabilities are easy, and heavy fighters can't really stay with you. Zero rolls faster to the left than to the right, so roll left to tighten your turns and get on the enemy's tail. Don't dive away from attackers. Your plane doesn't have the power or weight to outrun most fighters. To exploit your plane's best performance, force the enemies low and slow the pace of the engagement. So mastering the trigger control is crucial for the A6M2, as each of its Type 99 Model 1 cannons only has a 60 round drum magazine that runs out very fast, especially with longer bursts, and is commonly done by inexperienced pilots, myself included most of the time. A good way to practice trigger discipline is to fire the burst for no more than 3 seconds each time. This can be very effective, as short bursts of the 20mm is generally enough to cripple, if not destroy, an enemy target. The A6M2 Zero is known for its tendency to catch fire when hit. They usually do so in game as well. Weapons such as the M2HB can easily set the Zero's fuel tanks on fire. However, if you are on fire, don't panic. Immediately turn off your engine and wait for a few seconds. The fire might go out quickly, hopefully. As soon as the fire is put out, turn the engine back on. Depending on the damage and the situation, the Zero may still be able to be competitive in a fight. So for simulator battles, the Chinese A6M2 were very easy to handle for those inexperienced with Japanese planes. In simulator mode, the A6 is quite a decent plane thanks to its great flight characteristics, but the lackluster armament limits its beginner friendliness. Just like in realistic battles, the A6M2 in simulator is great turn fighter, being able to pull tight manoeuvres at any speeds that would otherwise stall other aircraft. Low speed control is forgiving, it retains a great turn rate and handles at less than 300 kilometers an hour, making it easy to land, allegedly. It also has decent acceleration and climb rate. The roll rate is mediocre but still usable. The dive speed is not fast at all, so do not try and outdive monoplanes except for the I-16s. Something absent in realistic mode is the responsiveness and sensibility of the aircraft. The Zero shines with this since its plane feels highly stable and smooth in level flight, as well as manoeuvres allowing the player to pull the lead accurately, which is an aspect that some turn fighters lack. They're usually a bit too sensitive. The A6M2's armaments, however, is perhaps its biggest setback for beginners. The main disadvantage is its extremely limited ammo count for the 20mm. It's only 60 rounds per gun. With a fire rate of 516 rounds per minute, the cannon will run out of ammo after around 4 bursts, which puts a heavy restraint on battle. But if the shells hit, they destroy. Monoplanes will get critically damaged by about 1 to 3 shots, while large planes will require a few more. The cannon's low muzzle velocity is also a disadvantage, as it leaves a curvy trajectory, which can make distant shots much harder. Another critical disadvantage is its low mounted gun sight. Being very close to the nose leaves very little room for the pilot to see below the engine, which makes leading very awkward. The numerous canopy frames are also an obstruction, preventing the player from quickly locating enemies. The rear view, however, is quite clear, with stabilised visibility. The Zero's survivability is just as bad as the simulator. The absence of any armour and self-sealing fuel tanks means that it cannot take hits at all. Even rifle-fired caliber bullets can damage its fragile body. Common places to catch fire are the wing roots and the back half of the fuselage. and if the A6M is on fire, again turn off your engine and pray. Consider bringing as little fuel as you can, as your cannons will often run out of ammo quickly anyway, so you constantly have to go and rearm and refuel when you're there. Also consider setting, if you can, separate keybinds for firing the machine guns and the cannons to save their ammo, and vertical head movement to get a bit more views below the nose. So some pros and cons. It has an excellent turn rate and roll rate. It has an excellent climb rate of up to 4,500 meters. It has good cannon armaments, extremely maneuverable, and your opponents will have a hard time hitting you. It's very good at catching enemies off guard, can outturn most enemies, and tail hooks allows it to land on carriers. Got very short takeoff distance, and it's excellent smooth handling in simulator and great rear view. Some cons: it mostly faces Japanese planes because it's a Chinese one. No armour and no pilot protection. Limited 20mm cannon ammunition. The 7.62 machine guns don't really do any significant damage. The guns have different trajectories. You need to get really close for targets to be affected. Attacking bombers is one of the worst jobs for Zeros. It's easily damaged by tail gunners. It's slow in a straight line. It's strictly limited to air-to-air roll, although it performs exceptionally in it. It's got no self-sealing fuel tanks, and the plane is littered with fuel tanks. It would often ignite and burn to death quite often. It can easily be countered by just simply doing boom and zoom, as the Zero lacks adequate energy retention. Low dive speed, has lots of bars inside the cockpit, limiting visibility, and it's prone to ripping during high speed manoeuvres. Overall, the Zero is a great plane in my opinion. I really enjoy playing it, even if I only play in realistic battle. And it's well worth checking out, especially if you like China as well. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed the video.